Have
it
you
out
read
there.
Sapiens, the book?
I haven't.
No,
What is it
okay.
about?
Because I was gonna say, as Rehan was talking about like how money is just like this thing that we made up, like our previous guest that we've had, I think like two guests
Yeah.
ago, was
Mm.
Julian Robinson, who has his own podcast. But he mentioned that he talked about a book which is Sapiens, and ever since that
Mhm.
episode, I actually ordered the book and started
Oh,
reading
wow.
it, and it's actually a very very good book, and I recommend
Mm.
everyone to read it. Um, it's
Who's it
by
by?
it's
Oh,
by
sorry.
Yuval Harari. It's
Okay.
like Yuvalharari. Anyways, Harari.
Harari,
Whatever.
yeah. Okay.
Harari.
And basically, it's called like *Sapiens: A Brief History of Humankind*. And so he starts
Oh,
from
wow.
literally like when we separated from the apes, and he talks about like genomes and all that stuff, and then
Mm.
into like hunter-gatherer stage, and then agriculture, and then civilizations and all that stuff. And I'm still on chapter 1, where he's talking about like the cognitive revolution, which is, how we separated ourselves from being animals to more like complex psychological, like teamwork, uh what's the adjective I'm looking for, like cooperating beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he talks about how like animals who are, the animals are still like intelligent, quote unquote, but they are like very much in the survival state of mind at all times, and so all they think about are things that are actually in front of them. And
Mm.
what made humans actually become more complex is the fact that they were able to imagine things that didn't actually exist. And clear examples of that,
Mm.
like, this might be like a little bit controversial, but like religion, for example,
Mhm.
and also like companies.
Right.
He gave this example that like a company is not actually real in any shape or form,
Yeah.
right? Like if and he also gave this like explanation. He said, if every single person that works at a company were to get fired, the company would still be an entity, right? But
Mhm.
where does that entity live? It's just in people's minds, right? And then
Right.
also, if every single like service or product that company has created were to be completely destroyed, that company would still exist in our minds, right? And
Right.
the only thing that like can dissolve a company is like legal action, right? So let's say
Mhm.
a judge says like, oh, like disband this entire company. um um okay, yeah, right. He said if the judge like dismisses like an entire company, the buildings and the people and the products are still there. And so in some sense, like the company still exists, even if like legally the judge says like the company doesn't exist.
I don't know
And
where the
so
Right.
legal. I mean, you're making a good point. I don't know why you had to bring the legal situation into it. Like, I don't understand how that
no
has
No, I
no
I
legally,
anything
understand.
to
That's
do
the
with it.
only thing that can like destroy the concept, right? That's what you're getting at.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
Continue.
the entire point of that is that like the thing is, we have this entire world that is living in our minds, like
Right.
countries, borders, companies, like everything, like titles, like jobs and all that stuff. It lives in our mind. If you were to, like, let's say an animal, you were to put yourself in the mind of an animal, they
Mhm.
just see the real world that's in front of them, and they have no idea of this entire thing that's going on that lives in our like level of cognition, right?
Why do you think
That's
humans
interesting.
get stressed so much more than animals? Because at the end of the day, animals are just living their best life,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're just
Mhm.
just relaxing in the world that's right in front of them, as you were saying. But humans have all this work, all this, if you were giving the example of a job, you always have deadlines, certain things to do. As you said, all these constructs that are in your mind. And at the end of the day, it's so important for people like us because who's going to really advance the civilization on Earth? Is it going to be like the lions and the cheetahs in the jungle, or is it going to be us? I'm pretty sure it's going to be us. Like
Yeah.
that's an important point.
Yeah. The reason I brought that up though is just because like money and economics is very much like a mental construction.
But it's such
that
an
we
important
have.
mental construction
Yeah, but
because
it's
without
very
it,
important.
the world would not run.
Wouldn't
Like the
exist, yeah.
most basic art of, you know, getting something for something else, like trading, is the most simple example of where economics comes in. Like, if let's say I have a basket of bananas and I want, I don't know, a basket of apples, like how many bananas are worth one apple or something like that, you know, like that's
Yeah.
all, like how do people value it? And all these questions come in where economics plays such a crucial role.